Welcome to Nighttime Narratives, where we help you sleep tight with summaries. Dive into the world's best-selling books with our AI-generated podcast summaries, designed to inspire and relax you before bed. Whether you're seeking a nightly escape or a quick overview of your next read, you're in the right place. So, snuggle in and let's explore the stories that shape our world, one summary at a time.
Welcome in, everyone. This is going to be fun. We're diving deep into all those what-if moments, those sliding door moments we all ponder. And we have the perfect source material to help us out. Matt Haig's The Midnight Library.
The Midnight Library is such a clever exploration of regret and the paths not taken. It really captures that universal human experience, doesn't it? That late night wondering about how life might have turned out if we just chosen differently.
Exactly. Haig's main character, Nora Seed, is basically drowning in regret when we meet her. Jobless, her cat's passed away, she and her brother have drifted apart. It's a lot.
It is, and it's all this that leads her to, well, a rather extraordinary library. Picture this, a realm between life and death, endless shelves stacked with books, each one a portal to a different version of Nora's life, each shaped by a choice she could have made differently.
Okay, so this is where it gets really interesting. Her guidebook through this massive library, it's her book of regrets.
Brilliant, right? Haig suggests that our regrets, they're not just burdens we carry, but pathways to understanding ourselves better. Each regret Nora feels, it's like a doorway to a life where she made a different choice, a chance to see how things might have gone.
And boy, does she jump in. One of the first lives we see her explore is one where she stayed with her ex-fiancé, Dan. It seems like a major regret for her. They end up running a charming country pub together in Oxfordshire. The classic dream scenario for so many.
Absolutely. But what's so clever is that the novel doesn't portray these alternate lives as simple wish fulfillment. Haig uses them to really dissect the complexity of our choices and how unexpected the consequences can often be. Even running a pub with Dan, their shared dream, the reality for Nora ends up being quite different from what she thought it would be.
Makes you wonder, what was it about Dan that made her keep going back to that possibility, even in these alternate realities? Was it love? Familiarity, maybe a fear of being alone?
Such a great question. One that the novel subtly explores throughout these various Dan chapters. It highlights how past relationships can have a lasting impact, shaping our choices and desires, even when we think we've moved on.
And speaking of choices and their impact, another major regret that Nora wrestles with is not traveling to Australia with her best friend Izzy. Of course, there's a book for that life too. This one, however, takes a pretty dark turn.
It does. In this reality, Izzy dies in a car crash, leaving Nora completely devastated and lost. It's a stark reminder that even fulfilling a dream can lead to unexpected heartache. Really makes you think about that whole delicate balance between fate and the choices we make.
Definitely. Like the book is saying, there's no guarantee of happiness no matter which path we choose. Every decision we make, it carries its own risks and rewards, joys and sorrows.
Exactly. The novel challenges that whole idea that there's one perfect life out there just waiting for us to find it. Because what's perfect for one person, well, could be someone else's nightmare. It all comes down to perspective and what we value as individuals.
So true. Okay, we've seen the pub life, the Australian tragedy. What other alternate realities does Nora jump into? Let's talk about the Olympic swimmer life. She achieves the athletic glory she always dreamed of.
This one is particularly interesting. It touches on ambition and the sacrifices we often make to chase our goals. On the surface, it seems like Nora has it all. Fame, recognition, an Olympic gold medal. But Haig doesn't shy away from showing the downsides to this seemingly perfect life.
Right. She had to give up a lot to reach that level of athletic success. Her music, meaningful relationships, even a sense of closeness with her family.
And it's in this life that we meet Nadia, her father's new partner. It's a complex family dynamic. It shows how the choices we make can impact more than just ourselves. They ripple outward, affecting the lives of those around us in ways we often don't expect.
It really makes you think, is achieving a lifelong dream truly worth it if it means sacrificing those other valuable things, those things that give our lives meaning beyond accomplishments?
Such important questions. What truly matters? How do we define success? Is it external validation, or is it something deeper, more internal?
This next life is a total 180 from the glitz and glam of Olympic stardom. It takes her to Svalbard, way up in the Arctic. She becomes a glaciologist, living at a remote research station. Imagine that change of scenery.
Pretty stark shift. It highlights the pull of isolation, the search for meaning in unexpected places.
It seems so solitary, but Nora finds a real thrill and purpose in studying the glaciers, even with the harsh conditions.
It speaks volumes about our ability as humans to adapt and the power of nature to inspire awe and wonder. Plus, this life subtly touches on climate change, adding another layer of depth to the story.
It makes me think about how stepping outside our comfort zones and embracing the unknown can lead to those unexpected moments of self-discovery. Have you ever been thrown into a completely new environment and ended up learning something surprising about yourself?
Oh, absolutely. Those experiences can be incredibly transformative.
So we've seen Nora as a pub owner, a grieving friend, an Olympic champion, and a glaciologist. And now, this is where the novel introduces a concept that really piqued my interest: sliders.
Ah, yes. Hugo, that charismatic scientist Nora met in one of the libraries, he introduces us to this idea of sliders, people who, like Nora, can move between different realities. It's mind-bending, suggesting that others out there share this extraordinary ability, and maybe, just maybe, there's even a purpose behind it.
It opens up so many possibilities, doesn't it? Do these sliders have a specific mission? Are there rules about moving between realities? And what about reality itself? What if every choice creates an entirely new universe? It's a lot to wrap your head around.
Definitely challenges our conventional understanding of time and existence, that's for sure.
Absolutely. Well, get ready, because Nora's exploration of the multiverse is just getting started. We'll be back after a short break to dive into even more of her alternate lives and unpack the deeper themes of this fascinating novel.
Welcome back. We've been exploring all these different paths with Nora Seed, each shaped by a different choice she could have made. Really gets you thinking, doesn't it?
It does. And one thing that stood out to me, it wasn't always about her finding a better version of herself in these other realities.
That's a good point. In some lives, she seemed pretty content with who she was, even if the circumstances weren't ideal.
Yeah, like when she was in Australia with Izzy before the accident, even though it ended tragically, there were still those moments of pure joy and connection.
Absolutely. And even in that life where she ran the pub with Dan, there were glimpses of real love and those shared dreams, even if the daily grind wasn't quite what they expected.
So maybe the novel is suggesting that happiness isn't about achieving specific goals or living a certain kind of life. Maybe it's about those moments of meaning, those connections, no matter what our circumstances are.
Exactly. It makes you wonder then, what was it about certain lives that made her want to linger, even if they weren't perfect?
Good question. What was it about those realities that resonated with her on a deeper level?
I think it comes down to belonging, feeling truly seen and understood. Remember that life with Dylan. Even though she knew deep down it wasn't right long term, she was drawn to his kindness, that acceptance she felt around him.
He offered a sense of normalcy, a stability she craved, even if it wasn't fulfilling in the way she ultimately needed.
Right. And then there's the life with Ash and their daughter, Molly. It seemed to give her the most complete sense of belonging throughout her whole journey. Motherhood in that reality brought a profound sense of purpose and love. Really resonated with her.
Yet even in that life, with all the love and fulfillment, there was still a part of her drawn back to the library. Like she couldn't shake that awareness of other possibilities.
It's like a part of her was afraid to fully commit to one life. As if closing the door on those other options meant missing out on some big unknown adventure.
I think that's something a lot of people can relate to, that fear of commitment, wanting to keep our options open, even when we found something good. It's like we're always wondering, what if there's something better out there, even when we're pretty happy with what we have?
It's the paradox of choice, the danger of getting lost in all those what-ifs. We can spend so much time and energy searching for something that might not even exist, that we neglect the beauty and potential of the life we're already living.
So how do we find that balance? How do we embrace the possibility of exploring new paths without getting lost in those endless what-ifs?
It starts with self-awareness, I think. Taking the time to understand our own values, what we truly desire deep down.
Being honest about what we're willing to sacrifice and what brings us genuine, lasting joy.
Absolutely. Asking ourselves those hard questions. What fulfills me? What am I willing to let go of? And recognizing that happiness isn't a one-size-fits-all kind of thing. What works for one person might not work for another. It's about finding our own path.
I love that. Our own unique path. It's a good reminder that there's no right or wrong way to live as long as we're being true to ourselves. And that's what I find so inspiring about Nora's journey. After all those alternate lives, she chooses to go back to her root life. Not because it's perfect, but because it's hers. She decides to embrace it.
It's a powerful message of self-acceptance. It's about finding the courage to say, this is my life, imperfections and all, and I'm going to make the most of it.
And speaking of messy, unpredictable lives, let's talk about Nora's time as a glaciologist in Svalbard. That one really stands out. It was so different from all the others.
Yeah, that Arctic adventure, such a contrast. All that ice, isolation, and a sense of vastness.
It's incredible how she found that sense of thrill and purpose in such a harsh environment. It shows her resilience, her adaptability, her ability to find meaning in unexpected places.
It highlights the importance of stepping outside our comfort zones and challenging ourselves to see things differently. Sometimes those unexpected experiences can lead to the most profound self-discoveries.
Totally. I think we often forget that. We get so comfortable in our routines that we lose sight of the bigger picture, all the possibilities out there.
And this particular life cleverly brings in the theme of climate change, showing how human activity impacts the glaciers, that delicate balance of nature. It adds another layer of meaning to Nora's journey. Reminds us of our responsibility to protect our planet.
Right. It's not just about our personal choices shaping our lives, but the collective impact we have on the world. Okay, let's shift gears a bit. Let's talk about those sliders. The idea that Nora isn't the only one who can move between these realities, it's such an intriguing concept, and it raises so many questions.
Absolutely. How many sliders are there? Do they have a purpose? Are there any rules? The novel leaves a lot unanswered, which adds to the mystery.
It does. It sparks our imagination and makes us think about the nature of reality itself. What if every decision we make creates a new timeline? What if our lives are more connected than we realize? It's pretty mind-blowing.
It challenges our idea of linear time, suggesting that there might be infinite possibilities happening all at once. It's like we're all part of this grand cosmic web, each choice sending out ripples that we might not even be aware of.
It's a beautiful thought and a daunting one. Makes you think about the choices we make and the potential impact they have, not just on us, but on others, maybe even on reality itself.
And that sense of wonder is what makes the Midnight Library so captivating. It stays with you long after you finish it, making you reflect on your own life and the choices you've made. Welcome back to our exploration of the Midnight Library. It's been quite the journey through the multiverse of choices, wouldn't you say?
It has, and while we've covered a lot, there's this one theme that keeps coming back to me: connection. It feels like so many of Nora's regrets, the ones that led her to the library in the first place, they stemmed from a lack of genuine connection in her life.
Yeah, like she was constantly looking for something external to fill a void within. A yearning for deeper relationships with her family, friends, romantic partners.
And it's interesting, even when she achieved incredible things in those other lives, like becoming an Olympic athlete or a famous musician or a renowned scientist, there was still that lingering emptiness. Those achievements couldn't fully satisfy that longing for connection.
I see what you mean. It's like those achievements might have brought temporary satisfaction, but they weren't rooted in the kind of deep, meaningful bonds that truly nourish a person.
Exactly. It wasn't until she started prioritizing those relationships, reconnecting with her brother, finding love with Ash, experiencing the bond of motherhood, that she finally felt whole.
It's a powerful message, isn't it? It reminds us that human connection isn't just a nice bonus. It's essential for our well-being. We're wired for it.
So true. It's not about material things or accolades or validation from others, but the quality of our relationships, that sense of belonging and the love we share.
Absolutely. It's about nurturing those connections, making time for the people who matter most, and really cultivating those bonds that bring joy and meaning to our lives.
Another thing that struck me about the Midnight Library is its hopeful take on our capacity for change. Nora goes through so much growth and transformation.
She does. She starts off consumed by regret and self-doubt, but by the end, she's ready to embrace her life and make choices that align with what she truly wants and values.
It's like her journey through those other realities gave her the clarity and the courage to step into her own power.
It speaks volumes about the power of self-reflection and how we can learn from our experiences, even the tough ones. And it reminds us that it's never too late to change, to course correct, to become the best versions of ourselves.
Which leads to the big question, the one that's been at the heart of our deep dive. What does it mean to live a truly meaningful life?
The Midnight Library offers a complex answer. It suggests that meaning can be found in pursuing our passions, whether that's through work, relationships, or creative pursuits.
And in contributing to something bigger than ourselves, making a difference in the world, leaving a positive impact.
But maybe, most importantly, it's about embracing the journey itself. All the highs and lows, twists and turns, joys and sorrows.
It's about finding those moments of awe and wonder in everyday life, appreciating the simple things and being grateful for the life we have, imperfections and all.
And learning to love and accept ourselves, fully and completely, with all our quirks and flaws.
Because that's where true meaning comes from, right? In the journey of self-discovery, the connections we make and the love we cultivate both within ourselves and with others.
So as we wrap up our time in the Midnight Library, we hope you found something to think about, something to inspire you on your own path.
Maybe it's a little reminder to embrace your own what-ifs with curiosity instead of fear. Or maybe it's a nudge to prioritize those connections that truly matter, to nurture the relationships that bring you joy.
Whatever it is, we hope you keep exploring those possibilities, keep questioning, keep learning, and keep writing your own unique story.
Thanks for joining us for this deep dive. Until next time, keep seeking out those moments of wonder and connection that make life so rich.
Thank you for joining us on this journey through the world of literature. If you enjoyed today's summary, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe for more insightful content. Click the bell icon so you never miss a bedtime story, and let us know in the comments which book you'd like to hear next. Your support helps us grow and brings more stories to your nightstand. Sweet dreams, and see you in the next episode.